Hello everybody, Andy from Glass Half Dead here, and this weekend we had a whole host of really big kill team tournaments, but of course the biggest to date kill team tournament was the LVO, and there is nothing more emotionally scarring in this world than trying to find the tournament win data on BCP. And so in this video, I will be focusing on LVO, then giving a few interesting factoids about all of the results when lined up next to each other, like which faction across these 6 tournaments placed top 8 most consistently, along with who podiumed, etc. And are the naysayers true and the unaliving of elite teams is upon us? As the first week with Scouts and Bok, Blades of Cain, in the swimming pool, are they sinking or swimming? Pool. I should have used a different word. Looking into LVO a bit deeper first though, shall we, chaps, chapesses and chap-I. For those that don't know, it was a huge 130 player 9 round tournament, sorry. First was actually Adrian Bonvento with Commandos, second was Vivek Ramesh with Vetguard, and third was Orion Wilfong with Felgor Ravagers. Really amazing to see players with the raw stamina to perform so consistently well over so many days and rounds of kill team. Interestingly, actually though, not a single person made it through the 9 rounds undefeated. The top 2 had no losses, but both had 2 draws. In fact, first and second played each other in the 4th round and drew, which is actually where you get kind of quite weirdness in the final placings. So Adrian first went against Chris Baki, the one true saviour of the blooded faction in the finals, which dropped Chris Baki down to 9th place, whereas Vivek played Orion, which only dropped Orion to 3rd place. I know it's all about numbers and it does make sense and stuff, but it really seems mental to be on the top table in the final round and end up 9th. That's a blow to the dick. Personally, I would like to see the top 2 tables become their own cut. That should really be the standard in all tournaments, if I'm honest, but whatever, I get it. Special shout out to 8th place for LVO to Jeremy Carnucci, because he managed to take 8th place at LVO, but he did it with Hive Fleet Compendium Nids. In at least one of the games where he was streamed, he ran 2 Gene Stealer fire teams, which makes a lot of sense. Low cognitive load team, super conceal, free dash, solid choice. And of course, we have to shout out Jimmy Jelly in 4th place with Felgor Ravagers. For those that don't know, Jimmy was the one that took Compendium Talons of the Emperor to a 1st place win at the All Into the Dark tournament in the States in March last year, showing that the Talons still have some scratch left in them. He put his amazing success down to one thing and one thing only, and that was being a top tier patron of mine. And so today's double pleasantry shall go only to my patrons who consistently perform well in tournaments. So if you want yourself a nice big double hello, consider checking out my Patreon. The Patreon of Champions is a high fibre blend of me literally never talking about kill team and just unboxing random board games that really focuses the mind for the true kill team winners. What do you think Ace's secret is? We had a bunch of large tournaments, so let's discuss. Bit of an honorary mention, and it won't be brought up again in these numbers here, but there was a 66 player Warhammer World tournament last weekend, right? That was the day Salvation released, so there's no Scouts or Blades of Cain there, so I won't dwell too much, but 1st, 2nd and 3rd were Commandos, Hierotek and Inquisition. Then the following in the top 8 were Novitiates, Pathfinders, Exaction, Corsairs and Starstriders. All unique factions, pretty good going, that's a healthy AF meta. Looking at the tournaments this weekend, there were 5 tournaments which had 28 or more players and ran at least 4 rounds. Top 3 at the Moscow Winter Cup, we had Pathfinders, Commandos and Farstalkers, that's Kroot. Top 3 at Poland's The Future Is Now was Vetguard, Inquisitors and Felgor. Top 3 at Spain's GT Enero Murcia was Chaos Cultists, Felgor and Felgor. Honourable note to Warp Coven in 4th there, so very nice. Top 3 at America's Triangle Open, hosted by Atomic Empire, was Gelapox, Void Dancers and Commandos. Top 3 at England's Kill Team 404 Regional Rumble in Bristol, that's quite close to me and I should have gone, but I did not because I'm lazy. That's a whole thing, let's not talk about it. Was Corsairs, Void Dancers and Blades of Cain. Eldar Power. Which single team featured the most over these 6 tournaments in the top 8? Good question. Who do you think? Commandos and Felgor. That's right, 6 Commandos and 6 Felgor Ravagers. And in fact, if we break that down further to top 3 podium positions instead of top 8, Commando and Felgor match up again, both having 3 placings in the top 3 across all of the tournaments. If we flip it around and look at the bottom 3 placements in every tournament for the weekend, in fairness, they continue their matching, and there is a single Commando and a single Felgor in the bottom 3 of all tournaments combined. Shout out to the Warhammer World Tournament, the Bristol Tournament, the American Tournament and the Polish Tournament for having no duplicate factions in the top 8. That is legitimately pretty good, let's be honest. Thumbs down to Spain for having 3 Felgor Ravagers in their top 8. Boo, 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 boo. People believe that we have finally reached a point in the meta where elites are out of here. And looking at LVO, the highest placed elite player was, can you guess? 38th, with Legionary. Yet Intercession and Legionary were still some of the highest picked factions alongside Commandos. So it was actually Commandos and Legionary, the most picked at 10 each. Then Intercession and Corsairs with 9 picks each, and then Void Dancers at 8 picks. The Kasrkin dominant meta very much has yet to emerge, which isn't super surprising as their elite points changes wasn't exactly a scalpel of targeted rules design, and although it's a good buff, it's probably not what they really needed. But as they were kind of decent into elites, that was kind of their thing, but elites seem to have gone away. Maybe that's why we don't see Kasrkin domination, or more likely the buff is new and the top players have yet to move over because they were all prepping for LVO and didn't want a brand new thing. Looking at elites, they really have not placed brilliantly in general, that's certainly true. Interestingly, Phobos, who had been on an uptick in pick rates, has completely dropped off. 1 Phobos at LVO is pretty shocking. 0 Warp Coven is the only team beating Phobos for least picked, I believe. Everything else got picked at least more than once. RIP. As for Salvation's first weekend out, we have a Scout played in 4th place in Poland, and a Blades of Cain in 5th place in Spain and 3rd place in Bristol. Honestly, new teams take time to settle into the meta, and quite frankly, any results whether high or low can be ignored for the first month, let's be honest. Crazy things can happen when you don't know what a team does, both when playing as or against it. And after the first few weeks, strong tactics will start to become common knowledge, and so the skill floor of the team becomes higher as everyone is able to understand the best combos easier, faster, stronger, harder. So in summary, the 2 current top dominating teams are 2 teams that just got nerfed, Commandos and Felgor. Classic stuff. Finishing up, the 2 best things you can do to improve your kill team win rate is play Commandos/Felgor and sign up to my Patreon, where I do pretty much everything but talk about kill team. And if you've made it to the end of the video, I would of course like to give you a big triple hello. My Patreon's literally just a glorified tip jar. However, I do give you some things at certain tiers, and I like to put out the occasional unedited bat rep. There's quite a few up on my channel at the moment now. Also, LVO. Look, putting on any sort of tournament is a ball ache, okay? And I promise you, you do not get the reward you think you get out of it. It's a lot of hassle, it's a lot of work, the reward is minimal. So, if you're thinking of LVO, go check out Dakota Luster. Obviously, they have the Squad Games podcast, Discord, etc. And he also sells terrain and accoutrement for Kill Team. If you're in the USA, definitely check his store out. Either, I believe he has a webpage, but he's also on Etsy. If you're not in the US, shipping's a bit of a ouch, you know. But you know, there's nothing you could do about international shipping, right? But if you're in the US, go check out. I think it's the Luster's Workshop. Cool. All right. Well, thank you. I hope this has been nice and chilled out. And I think we can all agree, Dyak Grek was a great sculpt when he released, but then we got the Farstalkers, and now Dyak Grek just looks like another normal Kroot. That's a bit of a, yeah. The bar hath been raised.